In this last lesson of the website tutorial, we have some odds and ends that we need to take care of just to clean up the appearance of our website a little bit. So we're going to start, if we have index open in the browser and in TextEdit, we can make one simple change pretty quick that will make this look better. Right now the table is aligned to the left of the page, and there's a big empty white space over at the right, and it just kind of throws it off balance. Now, we'd never want to center paragraphs of text, but it's okay if we center this big block of text that will make things easier to view. So I'm going to find the table tag, which is right here, and inside of it I'm going to add the attribute align equals center. And I'm going to save it and refresh, and now it has balanced it out better already. Then I'm going to go back, and we have some properties to add to our style sheet. So we'll have to control click, open with, remember we have to go to other, scroll down to text edit, and open. Okay? And if I open this up, we have quite a few things already that make our page look the way it does. One of the things that we're going to do is we're going to apply some changes that is going to change the table a little bit more. So I'm going to zoom in here again, and whoops, went down on the wrong page, and go down to the bottom here, and I'm going to add a table tag. And remember, I need my curly bracket, and what I want to do is I want to give it a font size and a font family. Even though it's carrying on the same size as everything here in the website, these two cities go on to two lines of text, which makes it a little off. Okay, so I'm going to come in here and I'm going to give it font family of Verdana, and then I'm going to give it font size, and I am doing 10 point. So when I come in and refresh, now the text in my table is just a little bit smaller, and it fits nicer inside those cells. The next thing that we're going to do is we are going to give that table a background color in alternating rows. Now we could just go in and say, okay, in row 1 we want to give it this color, row 3 this color, row 5 this color, but sometimes we have really long tables, and so it's better if we use this set of properties right here that allow it basically does it on its own. Okay, so I gave it to you here to make it easy for you to copy and paste so that you don't accidentally type something wrong. But TR, remember, is table row, and basically it's saying that if it's an even number, it's going to get this color, and if it's an odd number, it's getting this color. So after I go down there, I'm going to hit return, and I'm going to paste, and I'm going to spread it out a little bit. First I need to get rid of that word and I'm going to leave the curly bracket on that first row, and then I'll hit tab so that the property is right there, and then I'm going to do the same, and there we go. So if I save it now and go refresh, now every other row is just kind of a lighter color of this color that we have our header and footer. Okay, so it makes it stand out a little bit better. All right, now you may remember when we added this little sunny file or image to our table that I said that we were going to take care of that border later, because earlier in the lessons we decided, or I decided rather, that we should give our images a border color. Well, here I want to actually remove the border color or border, but only from this one. So I can't do that up here if it changes all of them. So what I need to do is I need to say, okay, I want to remove the border of the image that is inside the table header, which is inside the row, which is inside the table. So if I do that, here it is. Okay, so I have all the tags here. Notice how they don't have a comma between them. Okay, that's because it's a set of nested tags. So it has to be to the image that's inside the header, that's inside the row, that's inside the table. It's not to the table, the row, the header, and the image, which is what that was. See, these are applied to both the body and the paragraph. This one is only applied to, again, the image if it is inside the header, inside the row, inside the table. Okay? So I space that out, I save it, I come back here, I refresh, and now the border is gone. Okay? So at this point, I think that our index page is close to being finished. We have a couple of things that we need to change that go throughout the website, and that is, the first one is hyperlinks. So we have this secondary set of links that is a little longer on a couple of pages. So if I went to the New York City page, notice how the text on this second line goes all the way to a third line. Okay, so it doesn't look good. So we need to change that by giving the anchor tag a style. Now we can't do it just to the anchor tag itself because remember we use the anchor tag to name the different sections of the page so that we could link to those sections. Well, we have to specify only to do it to the anchor tags inside the header and inside the footer. So we're going to start by putting in the hashtag header, A, and then the curly brackets. And let me zoom in again. All right. And then down to the next line, I'm going to put in font family is Verdana. And I know that we have Verdana already, but it's important that we specify these things so that there's never any confusion. Then we want font size of 10 point. And we also want to add font weight of bold and then put in our closing curly bracket. Now, I'm going to go ahead and copy this and I'm going to paste it. And on the pasted one, I'm changing header to footer. I'm going to save it and I'm going to refresh. So now we have our links, which are all smaller. The only thing that's not smaller is the name of the city of the page we're on, and that's fine. All these named sections still have the same H3 size, and then it's smaller at the bottom here as well. And if we go to each page, you will see how that takes place. Okay, you can close your styles now, and the next thing that we're going to do is on the Paris page. So if we open this Paris page, whoops, in text edit, and if I go here, we want to go down to the Sacré-Cœur section. And that is a church in Montmartre, which is a district in Paris. So if you see, we have 3 paragraphs here. The third paragraph is a quote. You see that it starts and ends with a quote? Well, this quote is by a famous artist named Pablo Picasso. I actually forgot to type in his name when I was doing this text for you. So you can simply copy it and we will paste it right down here at the end of that quote. Okay? Now, whenever we put quotes in, whether it's into papers or into websites, we need to do something to set it apart. Okay? And so we're going to use what is called the block quote tag. So right here before the quote, I'm going to put that in. And then, of course, I need to close it after Picasso's name. And simply what I'm doing here is I am going to be indenting the page on both sides. So after I have it in, I save it, and then I'm going to refresh, and here we have the block quote. Let's say, and you don't have to do this, I just want you to see it. Let's say, for instance, you actually want it to be indented more. You could put in 2 sets of block quotes, opening and closing, and then see how it gets moved in even more on both sides. So it kind of depends on what kind of look you're going for. We just need to do 1 and we'll be fine with that. Let me save and refresh again. And there it is. Okay? All right. The last part is our titles. So you may have noticed that when you open a tab, right now it's saying the file name. Even on mine, I have Untitled because I didn't give it a title. Okay? The title tags are up here inside your head. Remember, this is part of things that don't actually show up on your page, but they help your page work properly. So what this title does is it helps search engines find your pages once you've published them to the internet. Okay? So we need to add a title to each of your 5 pages. So the home page, index.htm, needs to have international travel by, and then it's going to have your full name. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to open index in text edit. I'm finding the title, and I'm going to go ahead and paste that international travel by, and then I'm going to put my full name. And that just means first and last name. And you should capitalize your first and last name. Okay? And then if I go to the home page, now look, see what's showing up here in the tab. And that's one of the ways that they can help find it. The other pages, you're going to use the city name, and then there's this straight line. This is just a decorative piece. You can see that it's just above the return key. Hold down shift and it's up there. We're going to do New York and then international travel by. Okay? And that means we have to open New York now. Oops. And again, put your full name, spelled correctly with capital letters. And go to New York City and check, and it's up there. Then we have San Francisco. And yes, you could type it in as opposed to copy and paste, but I have given it to you to use, so you may as well copy and paste. Because when you make a website from scratch, you have to copy, or you have to type everything. Okay, so it's showing up here. Next one is Paris, which I have open, so I just need to copy. And then the last one is Rome. And I'm going to save it, and then I can come over here and hit refresh for Paris. It's showing up, Rome is showing up, and I should be good to go. Now, the only other thing that you guys need to do is remember that you have a completed working website now. It is not something that's out on the World Wide Web. You have to buy server space and a URL, meaning a website address, in order to get something hosted to where everybody in the world can see it. However, what you need to make sure you do now is you need to know that you have to check your work. You should have been doing it after each lesson, but it's especially important now that you look at the examples at the end and that you compare it to your work. If something looks different, you need to go back and fix it. Consider that if I was your client, would I pay you for the job you've done for me? Okay? And if the answer is no, then you need to go back and fix things so that you would get paid for it. So take your time, go through, check your work, compare.